Hello, good day, beautiful people. I am the Inspirational Lady Noble, 365 channel. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you will love this vibe, and everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This will be past, present, or future, you or someone around you. So take a resonance and leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. If you like a personal read, check out the description below, and I'll be happy to assist you with doing so. Remember that tarot is a tool, it is not the final rule. Okay? Make sure you tell a family, friend, or foe, or to stop on by and subscribe to the channel so they can be privy to these spiritual notifications. Collective, we're starting off with stop. So there's a need for you to pause for the cause. There's a need for you to take a break, maybe from some kind of activity or hobby you have been doing, or Spirit is saying you just need a break and then get back to it. Okay, not to quit, but take a little break and get back to it, and do these breaks on a normal basis. But I'm also picking up that you may need to stop and take a break to reflect on a situation, something that is occurring in your life that could be upsetting you. This could be something regarding your children, or maybe you're at odds with another parental figure over a child, okay, over where someone's going to go to school, or how you run your household, okay, over how you run your household. So you could be having indifferences with your spouse or with another parental figure or a guardian regarding maybe you have a teenager or a child, maybe they want to stay out past curfew, and you're like, no, I'm not going to allow it. You may have been finding out that this child has been going to another relative's house and maybe breaking the rules, maybe doing things that they know they can't do at home. And so I'm picking up on someone maybe going back and forth, like, look, I don't allow that. Please don't let my child do that when they come to your home. And so maybe it's made you very upset. It's made you very angry, to the point where you feel like you're being disregarded. It may has also caused you a lot of worry, making you lose, those sleeping, beautiful sleeping beauty. I'm hearing nights, making you lose sleep when you're used to getting, a good night's rest. But all of a sudden, you've received information about a child possibly being rebellious. Okay, there was a state in time where you had a good relationship with your child. You have a teenager. I'm picking up this could be a teenager, maybe age 14 to age 16, and maybe they have rules at home, but when they go to cousin's house or aunt's or uncle house, or the grandparents' house, maybe they're breaking the rules. They're doing things they know that you don't allow them to do. Okay, and maybe this family member is kind of spoiling the child, letting them get away, get away with doing stuff, letting them get into a little mischief. Okay, and you're like, look, I don't allow that, and I appreciate if you stop. You're throwing off my routine. You're throwing off, how I raise my child. I hear someone saying, you don't raise my child for me. So you can be telling them this, I have rules for them to follow, and I want them to follow them whether they are at home or away from home. Okay. So this child is taking advantage because they feel that you're not around, so they feel that they can get away. Okay. You may be telling this person, you're fake. I thought you were family. I thought you cared. How could you let my child get away with staying out past curfew? Okay. They may be trying to calm you down. You may be consistently being told it's going to be okay. They could also be telling you you're tripping, you're taking it all out of hand. It is not like that. We're family. We got them. But you're trying to explain to them it's not about your family. It's about, you don't want your child experiencing any kind of situation, that is not for, good for their health and their well being. You don't want them to get into a situation that they can't turn back from. So I'm picking up that possibly you have a teenage child that could ask to go to a relative's house or a friend house to spend a night. And when they are there, they do things that you don't allow them to do at home. You found out about it, and it's caused a lot of friction in your home, and also between the relationship, of you and your child. the stubbornness. This teenager is rebelling. They know that they're not allowed to stay out past curfew. Or you may have been found out that this teenager has been partaking in maybe drinking. And you're like, look, I don't allow you to do this. So I'm picking up something, get back to you, and I'm getting curfew and I'm getting a couple of things, and you don't appreciate it. You could also be telling them, you know what, you're grounded. You're not going over this person's house for the next 2 months, the next 3 months. And so this could cause for you and the other parental figure or the matriarch, the head of that household could be in disagreement. You could be arguing, going back and forth with this person. They could feel like you don't trust them, so they could be taking it as an insult. And you're like, no, you just don't allow my child to break the rules. They're here to spend a night there in your supervision, but it doesn't mean that you're supposed to allow them to break the law or do things that are not healthy or safe for them. This could also be, if this is not a family member, this household where your child go, this is someone who works a lot of long hours. And Spirit is saying, oh, I'm telling on somebody's child now. Spirit is saying that they like to go over there because the parent works long hours. And so you may also find that out that the children have been alone for a lot of hours when you thought they were there with the parent, the mother, the father, the aunt, the uncle, that they're often home alone. And that's why your son or daughter likes to go over there. We've all been teenagers. Y'all know. Y'all know. Y'all know. So you may, yeah, meanwhile, you're trying to make sure you avoid, a disaster or something occurring with your child. But this situation has interrupted your relationship, you know, uh, with your child, the connection, the trust, Your son or daughter may have, you know, uh, persuaded you into spending time or spending the night at this person's house, and you decided to unleash the leash on them and give them a little freedom, but it looks like they're taking advantage. Okay, they could have told you, your son or daughter, that you're treating them like they're a baby. You tell them you are a baby. You my baby. You do what I say. Oh, okay. So you feel like you have been robbed. You feel like you have been blindsided. You feel like you have been tricked. I'm picking up your child has been going over this person's house for quite some time, possibly for the last year and a half to 2 years. And what's bothering you is your concern about what's been going on. And now you're finding out that they've been home by themselves for a lot of long hours because the person of this household could work 12-hour shifts and could sometimes work time and a half, like spend a night at work kind of energy. Wow. And so this child, they felt like, you were keeping a tight leash on them, and they chose to be rebellious too. Spirit is saying just to see what it feels like. But I see you maybe taking away some things that they like, not allowing them to go to this person's house no more. You could probably be taking away their privileges from social media. hmm This has also caused a great divide in your home amongst your family. You're used to running a peaceful household, but this has caused a lot of disturbance in your household. And so I see you trying to, tap in spiritually and find ways to regain the peace and tranquility in your home, as well as the trust between you and this child here. You once had a strong bond with this teenage son or daughter. But since you have been being lied to, you're very concerned. Like you've been going over here for a year and a half to 2 years. What's been really going on? And the parental figure of the home can't tell you because they're busy at work. So they can't tell you what's been going on. You call yourself giving them freedom because you didn't want them to feel like they were being confined as a teenager. And you also understand, because we all have been teenagers, what it's like to want to have freedom or do what the other kids do. But you also understand that you have to set boundaries as well. You have to have rules, you have to set boundaries. This person works a lot of hours collective. I keep hearing 12 hour, sometimes time and a half. But with collaboration here, I do see you coming back together, with your child, as well as possibly having a conversation with this parental figure. They may reach out, and because they're desiring to come out of conflict with you as well. And so, even though you're not allowing your child to go over there, I do see you having a conversation with this person, to relieve you of the stress. They understand that you are allowed, and it's your child, to parent the way you want to, and they are allowed to parent the way that they want to. But they may also find out that they are unaware of what's been taking place. But they're going to reach out and possibly want to talk to you, and also apologize, for not even taking it into consideration about leaving them at home by themselves for long periods of time. And they may also share with you that they are unaware that anyone was out past curfew, or maybe having a sip of something they shouldn't be having because they're underage, or hanging out in places they shouldn't hang. And so all this was done, while your child was away from your home, spending the night at their home, but they weren't there at all to even supervise their own child. Okay, so you will receive that apology. So I do see harmony being restored in your family, as well as with this friend. Okay, so that concludes the read. Later.